here when it's cold and dark that I'm drawn to read the words in John 1, verses 4 to 5. In him was life, and that life was the light of mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Today we're looking at the short book of Ruth, only 4 chapters, and to see how it points us to Jesus. We see life happening in the book of Ruth, and God at work in the everyday and sometimes seemingly inconsequential events. There's death, moving house, lack of finances, family responsibilities, romance, love, marriage, birth, as well as exile, famine, and living in a foreign land. And woven into this is God's plan of redemption and the direct signpost through Ruth and Boaz to King David and thus to Jesus. Ruth is a Moabitess and becomes a young widow. Her mother-in-law is Naomi, who leaves Bethlehem with her husband and sons, and they go to the land of Moab. Sadly, her husband dies and both her sons, and while she's in Moab, she hears that Bethlehem has been blessed with good harvests and decides to return. Ruth insists on accompanying her, and she declares these wonderful words to Naomi in chapter 1. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. And thus she rejects the pagan gods of Moab. It seems to me that Naomi is in a dark place of unresolved grief and anger against God. And Ruth, even though she may still be grieving herself, manages to see through Naomi's bitterness and helps to shine a light into her life. When they get to Bethlehem, we see Ruth taking on the responsibility of everyday needs and getting food for them. She quickly becomes known for her loyalty, her faithfulness, virtue and love. She's seen by Boaz, the kinsman redeemer, who Bernard spoke about yesterday. His kindness and involvement in her situation provokes Ruth to say, "Why have I found such favour in your eyes that you notice me, a foreigner?" And that rings bells and reminds us of the words that the angel said to Mary, "Do not be afraid, for you have found favour with God." And I feel that's what's happened to Ruth as well. In Ruth, we see a woman who is a Gentile, an outsider, and yet comes to God. And he doesn't discriminate against her in any way whatsoever and shows her his love. And when we come to Jesus, we often come as foreigners, empty-handed and needing help and needing light to shine into our lives. And Jesus does exactly that. At the end of the book of Ruth, Ruth is blessed with love, and we see the favour she's found in the eyes of the community and the elders. And finally, that description that she is worth more than even 7 sons. It's high praise indeed. It seems that Ruth is a book of light, shining in the darkness of difficult things in people's lives. And I wonder if we could just consider 3 things. Can we bestow kindness on someone at this time or in the future to bring light, God's light into their lives? Can we be faithful in the everyday things, in the knowledge that God is using our everyday lives to be part of his overall plan? And finally, can we not fret when things seem dark and difficult and unresolvable, when we feel ill-equipped with the enormity of a situation? Can we be people like Ruth of integrity, faithfulness, dedication and humility, who know God and shine a light in this world?